Perhaps I'm the only one who feels this way, but Admiral Zhao, with all his feats and flaws, is unironically my favorite character in Avatar. Now, you probably have a lot of questions, and don't worry, I'll explain myself in a minute. But for now, here's some background about his character. Zhao appears in 9 episodes, 8 of which are in Book 1, and 1 of which is a flashback in Book 2. When we first meet the Admiral, he's recently been promoted to Commander, and he's in charge of operations at a Fire Nation naval base near the Southern Water Tribe. Prince Zuko has been forced to pull into the Fire Nation's dockyard for repairs and makes a pitiful attempt to lie to Admiral Zhao and conceal the fact that the Avatar has been discovered. Admiral Zhao completely sees through Zuko's BS, but still tries to give Zuko a chance to divulge his findings willingly. Zuko continues to lie, but it is soon revealed that Zhao had Zuko's crew interrogated and the truth about the Avatar's return is revealed.
If you have an ounce of loyalty left, you'll tell me what you've found.
I haven't found anything. It's like you said, the Avatar probably died a long time ago. Come on, Uncle, we're going.
Commander Zhao, we interrogated the crew as you instructed. They confirmed Prince Zuko had the Avatar in custody, but let him escape.
From this point on in the series, Zhao makes it his personal mission to capture the Avatar, and he, rather reasonably in my opinion, takes the clearly incompetent and hot-headed Zuko off of the search for the Avatar. Zuko responds by propelling himself into a rant about his honor, as he often does, but Zhao responds calmly by telling Zuko the truth that not even Iroh had directly told Zuko until this point.
And restore my rightful place on the throne.
If your father really wanted you home, he would have let you return by now. Avatar or no Avatar. But in his eyes, you are a failure and a disgrace to the Fire Nation.
That's not true.
You have the scar to prove it.
Oh, maybe you'd like one to match!
His typical fashion, Zuko responds with a fit of rage and challenges Zhao to an Agni Kai. After demonstrating his firebending prowess in the objectively coolest fight of Season 1, Zhao is narrowly defeated, but Zuko refuses to deliver a finishing blow, even when Zhao commands him to do it. Zhao is infuriated by this humiliation, and in a fit of rage strikes at Zuko while Zuko's back is turned. Thankfully, Uncle Iroh intervenes to protect Zuko, inflicting even more shame on Admiral Zhao. In just this one episode, think about all the characterization Zhao has received. We learned he's cunning, ambitious, and proud. We know he's a strong firebender and competent commander. We know that he has a hatred of failure, and this may explain his disdain for Zuko and Iroh, both of whom have disgraced the Fire Nation in their failures. During the invasion of the Northern Water Tribe, Zhao clearly values Iroh's input, but can't get past Iroh's failures.
It's almost twilight, Admiral. As your military consultant, I must advise you to halt your attack. The waterbenders draw their power from the moon, and it is nearly full tonight. You should wait and resume the attack at daybreak.
Oh, I'm well aware of the moon problem, and I am working on a solution. But for now, daybreak it is.
Zhao's hatred for Zuko builds as Zuko goes to great lengths to undermine Zhao's quest. It appears that the entire world is against Zhao. He has to deal with the antics of Team Avatar,
they'll make anyone an admiral these days.
his former master turning against him,
So great. I can't believe my former master has become nothing more than a simple savage.
It is you who have embraced savagery, Zhao.
incompetent officers, Avatar Roku, Zuko literally breaking Aang out of Zhao's prison,
Hold your fire! The Avatar must be captured alive!
Open the gate.
not even to mention the entire Northern Water Tribe and the Water Spirits. Zhao's disdain for failure quickly morphs into an uncontrollable rage when facing such odds. Really, it's no wonder that Zhao lets his rage get the better of him all the time. He has reason to be angry at pretty much everything, and eventually this rage begins to consume him. Zhao is most often criticized and mocked for his speech when he finally captures the water spirits.
I am a legend now. The Fire Nation will for generations tell stories about the great Zhao who darkened the moon. They will call me Zhao the Conqueror, Zhao the Moon Slayer, Zhao the Invincible! Get it off! Get it off!
But considering what he managed to achieve, even though everything was against him, can you really blame the man for wanting some glory? Some acknowledgement? Some gratitude? Let's take a look at his brief flashback appearance in Season 2.
In my study,
What do you have against humans?
humans only bother learning things to get the edge on other humans. Like that firebender who came to this place a few years ago, looking to destroy his enemy. So, who are you trying to destroy?
What? No, destroy.
Even though it is briefly mentioned in Season 1, rewatching this small clip of Season 2 recontextualizes how Zhao must have committed years of his life to understanding the water tribes, going as far as to mount an expedition to the hidden library to learn the truth about the water spirits. Now look at Zhao's invasion of the north. The siege was the culmination of his life's work, the final piece in his dream of becoming a legend in the Fire Nation. Of course he was going to revel in the glory of his imminent victory. Not to mention the ridiculous amount of logistics and strategizing it took for him to launch this massive operation, and how he maintains a cool head for what is really a very stressful situation.
I don't need to remind you, we have a time limit. If we don't defeat the Water Tribe before the full moon rises, they will be undefeatable.
I assure you, I have everything under control. I intend to remove the moon as a factor.
Remove the moon? How?
Joy! Prepare to meet your fate!
As I was saying, years ago, I stumbled upon a great and powerful secret. The identity of the moon spirit's mortal form.
What?
I was a young lieutenant serving under General Shu in the Earth Kingdom. I discovered a hidden library, underground, in fact. I tore through scroll after scroll. One of them contained a detailed illustration and the words moon and ocean. I knew then that these spirits could be found and killed, and that it was my destiny to do so.
Personally, what really struck me about Zhao was this moment.
Destiny to destroy the moon and the water tribe.
Destroying the moon won't hurt just the water tribe. It will hurt everyone, including you. Without the moon, everything would fall out of balance. You have no idea what kind of chaos that would unleash on the world.
He is right, Zhao.
General Iroh, why am I not surprised to discover your treachery?
I'm no traitor, Zhao. The Fire Nation needs the moon too. We all depend on the balance. Whatever you do to that spirit, I'll unleash on you tenfold. Let it go now!
Look at this frame. Just for a moment, Zhao relents, and by the expression on his face, it's pretty clear that for a moment he genuinely regrets what he's about to do, even when the people he hates are the ones who are trying to convince him not to complete what he thought was his destiny. He's not completely lost to reason. It shows us that there's still some good inside of him, something more than his personal glory. But then suddenly and tragically, the dam bursts. All of his rage and anger and frustration with Zuko, with Iroh, with the Avatar, and with the universe itself comes pouring out, and he slays the moon spirit. This moment's his tragic undoing. His conscience and rational faculties present him with one last out, but it's his own rage that leads him down the darkest path. When the water spirits seek their vengeance, who comes to the rescue? None other than Zuko, the man who, since day one, has lied to, dishonored, sabotaged, and humiliated Zhao. It's really no wonder he didn't take Zuko's hand. The only thing left inside of him was his rage. Letting Zuko save him would go against the path he was already too far down to turn back on.
Can't be!
Take my hand!
Even if you have no sympathy for Zhao, you gotta admit, that's a pretty brutal way to go. Zhao is my favorite character in Avatar because he was a competent villain who tested our heroes, but unlike Zuko, who always felt more like a conflicted antagonist as opposed to a full-on villain, Zhao most definitely was a villain. But he was a villain with simple yet not completely unreasonable motivations. Deep down, Zhao just wanted to be rewarded for his years of hard work and persistence. But his desire turned into a sense of entitlement, which turned into arrogance, then mix that in with a little bit of rage and ambition, and you've created a man who is set to make all the wrong choices. I love Zhao because he's probably the most eloquently written generic bad guy out there. He doesn't have a crazy, complicated, or tragic backstory, yet his motivations aren't quite as simple as greed or empty ambition. He really doesn't receive the attention he deserves, not in the world of Avatar, or in our own. Thank you for watching.
We'll be following this map to a very special location. And when we get there, we're going fishing.